back to Big Movie Mouth Off, the podcast where three Intermountain West critics bore each other to death about film. I'm Jeff Counts.
I'm Brooks Bird.
And I'm Adam McDonald.
This is episode 54. And Adam, you reminded me off mic that we forgot to mention something pretty important before episode 53.
Yeah, so yours truly learned how to do something. We just recently launched our official website, bigmoviemouthoff.com. So you can go there. You'll have a list of all of our episodes with quick Spotify links to listen to them if you have Spotify. You'll also be able to find our written reviews there as well. So kind of a smorgasbord of everything. And then, yeah, just a start for right now. But bigmoviemouthoff.com, if you can go there, check it out, give us some clicks. Just an easy way to find all of our content in a very simple place. So
It's really a simple website, but it's
yes.
beautiful and it's designed just to get the content in your hands as easily as possible. So
I
thank
think
you,
that's all
Adam.
people want now, anyway.
I think so too, Brooks. No one's looking for like design awards anymore for websites. Get right to the
Yeah.
point.
And so it's also cool because at the very top of the screen, you'll have our three newest episodes. So if you're trying to catch up or you don't want to see like, hey, we're going to talk about Spider-Man, boom, easy place to find Spider-Man.
On behalf of me, Brooks, and everyone listening to us, Adam, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes.
I
All
learned
right.
a new skill.
Yes, you did. And Brooks and I get to benefit from it by doing nothing.
Just like John Lovitz in The Wedding Singer.
It's just like we like it too.
Hey, someone's got to do it.
One movie on this episode, but it's the one I promised you we were going to talk about next, and it is Spider-Man Brand New Day, the latest in the Tom Holland Spider-Man franchise. After that, because Spider-Man's got no parents, we're going to do Guilty Pleasures Orphans edition. I can't wait to see what you guys came up with. Then we'll do our coming attractions, a couple of post-credit scenes, the usual. Before we get to any of that nonsense, though, let's get back to Spider-Man. Brooks, you're going to take us through the synopsis. Before that, here's a little bit of the trailer.
Hi, my name is Peter Parker. You don't remember me, but we used to know each other. Something bad was going to happen, and the only way to stop it was to make everyone forget about me. Because I'm not just Peter Parker. I'm Spider-Man.
All right, Brooks, it's been a while since you've done a synopsis. What do you got?
Well, in this case, it's a brand new day for Spider-Man. But it's been 4 years since Doctor Strange made everybody forget who Peter Parker is. He's been living alone. He's got the only friend that he could possibly want in Frank Castle, the Punisher himself, who is in all the trailers. Someone thought it was a spoiler when I mentioned him, and I was like, where have you been?
Definitely not.
And he is going through some motions along with the franchise, which is great because it continues to stretch and mature. And now there is a new bad guy in town, and it can body jump from person to person and take over their minds. And only Spider-Man can sense him. The him, they, her, them. You'll find out soon enough. And meanwhile, he's still also trying to meet cute with his old friends Ned and his lovely MJ. Will they meet? Got to watch to find out.
Well, you're not going to find out from us because I want us to be somewhat careful, even though the chances of everyone listening not having seen the film yet, I think are pretty low because how much money has it made, Brooks?
I was literally pulling
It
it up.
made
It is
2 billion.
over 2 billion
Yep.
already.
Over $2 billion.
There's a
In
good chance
2 weeks.
this could hit a 3 billion mark, be the first movie ever to do that. So
It has to be
I kind of
already
hope so.
one of the most popular Marvel titles of all time. It's approaching Avengers numbers, right? It'll get there
I mean,
eventually, maybe.
Spider-Man's always been kind of their stronghold anyway, regardless of studio.
But it didn't used to belong to Marvel, which is
No.
interesting. They had to make that deal with Sony way back when, and now that Disney's involved, all these talk about meet cutes, these cinematic meet cutes are happening to the benefit of us all. Well, look, it's doing really, really well, but we're still going to try to avoid a couple of big spoilers in case somebody has managed to get this far without having seen a trailer or talk to anyone on the internet about this film. Brooks, you mentioned something important in your synopsis that is one of my favorite things about this movie, which is that it's got depth, it's got subtext. It's really about isolation and transformation in Spider-Man.
It's
And
like me moving out
the
here.
director, Daniel, is it Daniel Destin Cretton or
Yes.
Destin Daniel Cretton? I always get the first two
One
names
of
mixed
them.
up, but
Destin Daniel.
Thank you. And he did Shang-Chi, which we all liked very much. He's
Hmm.
done other things too, but I love the patience he takes with this character.
Well, the interesting thing about Spider-Man is he's always kind of been the everyman. I think that's why he's so popular is because he could be your neighbor. He could be you, for all you know. And his life so far has been so, whiz, bang, boom, fighting Thanos and everything else that now he's kind of settling into the doldrums of life, and it does make him more relatable. I still don't know how he's paying his rent, by the way, because that place
I'm
he's
sure
living
he's got
at,
that Stark money.
he must have some Stark like a stipend or something like that because there's no way anyone, even in a bad part of Queens is paying that for rent. But yeah, there's still fantastical things happening. As we've seen from the trailers, there's a thing with spider DNA and with this weird new bad guy that Brooks kind of mentioned. But it ends up being, in a sense, the smallest Spider-Man story because it can become so personal. It's about the choices you make in the past, not so much the sins of the past, but the decisions made that you now have to pay the consequences for. And in a split second moment when he's like, yeah, I want to save my friends by everyone forgetting who I am, I don't think he quite understood what that meant. Because I mean, think about it. If all of a sudden we woke up tomorrow and I had no clue who Counts was, like everything else was perfectly fine, but we've never met you. Like, how would that change not just my life, but your life? Counts, you wake up and like, hey, here's Adam and Brooks. I want to go do this podcast with them. And we're like, who the hell are you? Like, why do you have my email address? Why, anything else? So I do think that by making it more isolated and making it a personal story, it does, in a sense, make it a much smaller story against the backdrop of fantastical, crazy things happening.
For the record, if the world's fate hung in the balance, I would ask Doctor Strange to make you two forget me. Just so you know, because I do want to protect
No,
Earth.
you'd be like, I want everyone to forget Adam. He doesn't get a choice.
Excuse me, Doctor Strange. Can I pick someone else that everyone will forget, please?
Like,
Well,
not me.
there's no way Peter has that Stark money because Tony's dead and none of the other Avengers even remember him. That's part of the punishment that he put himself through
Maybe
to save
he
the
left it
world.
to Spider-Man because
Yeah,
Spider-Man was trying
That could
to,
be.
that's a
yeah.
good point. Well, Brooks, I feel like Tom Holland, he's 30 in the real world, but he definitely plays 20 just fine. No problem. And I think his maturity as an actor, he's grown a lot since he first took this character on. I think his maturity as an actor brings a lot to the character because let's be honest, Spider-Man and Peter Parker in this movie world have seen way too much to still be a kid. And he pulls
Oh,
that
yeah.
off. Don't you agree?
I do, yeah. I mean, it probably also helps that he's been working outside of the Spider-Man franchise with such awesome directors. I mean, times almost feels like some weird side story to the Odyssey just because of the cast.
Well, you did call
And
it yourself last time we
I
recorded
know.
that Zendaya, Tom Holland, and John Bernthal were all going to be in the next movie we talked
Hmm.
about too.
Well, and I'm convinced still that they probably were filming all of these scenes at the same time as the Odyssey. Considering how big both of them are, there's no way that they weren't having sets that they had to go back and forth to that weren't any closer than a ride in a tram or something.
Well, Tom
But
Holland's not in the entire Odyssey anyway, so he's probably able to just pop over and do weeks here and
but it
there.
does make it easier when the three of them happen to all be in the same scene,
Hmm.
Absolutely.
which are some of the best scenes and the
Before
quietest.
before we talk more about the movie, I want to do a quick vote amongst the three of us. I'm just curious where the two of you stand now on best Spider-Man in movies, right? And you
Like
don't get,
actor.
yes, and you don't get to pick Miles Morales from Into the Spider-Verse, but
Aw.
I will let you include Jake Johnson. I'm talking about best Peter Parker. For me,
Ah,
my vote at this point is hands down Tom Holland. I think he gets the role top to bottom better than anyone else has. But what's your vote, Adam?
Tom Holland as well. It's just like the other ones are great. Like you'll never convince me that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield weren't fantastic Spider-Men. But I feel like both of those kind of was able to do one was a better Peter Parker, one was a better Spider-Man. Holland nails both parts.
Agreed.
yes.
Brooks, yeah, you're the same.
Yeah, that's exactly what I would have to say. It's the fact that he can do both and simultaneously, or just go back and forth if he needs to, that makes him win hands down.
Well, it's three for three, Tom Holland. I don't think there's any other choice, honestly. What you said, Adam, about the other two is totally true. They had their strengths. And I
Hmm.
think, honestly, just Jake Johnson's voice work alone in Spider-Verse is so good because
Hmm.
he has to play an older, divorced, kind of tired. He has to Affleck Spider-Man in that
Hmm.
role, and it really works well. But I still think Tom Holland, pound for pound, is the best person. This movie, I mentioned before when I talked about mashups, when I talked about Sony and Marvel and Disney sort of putting properties together that were formerly distinct, it's really fun. You see Bruce Banner in the trailer, just like you see Frank Castle in the trailer. And all I will say is, where you see Bruce Banner, of course, there is Hulk, and there is some Hulk Punisher stuff that is the happiest I've been in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a very long time. I love the mashups. I love how they're starting to bring other properties in. Are you guys as happy as me about that?
I am. I was feeling the same way. I'm in a minority who actually loved the Doctor Strange and the madness, but that's just because I felt that that's what they were starting to do with that one, where
Yeah.
they were making it feel more comic book crossover, where there's all of these characters showing up at different times or all at the same. And whether it worked or not, it was a little clunkier back then because they had just kind of started doing it because they weren't able to before. But now with this, they're really figuring out how to just cram everybody into something. But even here with like the Hulk and Punisher, it starts off with Peter and Banner and then just morphs and keeps getting bigger and better. And then Punisher comes in and just takes it away.
It's so much fun. And you might be right, Brooks, about Multiverse of Madness and that that was the concept, but this is the proof. And I think the reason this is better is because we're back to that tight Marvel writing. I know it's a Sony project, but I think that everyone knows what a Marvel movie is supposed to sound like now. You're the biggest comic book person of the three of us, Adam. Are you enjoying these mashups?
Yeah, it feels much more comic booky. It's funny because just earlier today, Clark wanted to read Secret Wars. I'm like, well, which one? There's 20. I guess the one from 2015 because that's the one that I think Doomsday is going to be based on. And
Mm,
when you start one of those, then you literally have to go. It's not just like the main 5 issue run of Secret
no.
Wars. You got to go find Spider-Man number 362, which has like it's a one-off with Secret Wars. And then you got to go find Ant-Man number 255. Then you got to go find Venom number 3. Like it
Yes.
bounces around because all of it makes like the biggest one I ever did was Fear itself, which is when Thor becomes unworthy and can no longer, hold Mjolnir. So for me, this does make it feel much more comic booky in a way that we've not really seen in a lot of movies because most of the time in a Marvel movie, you get the post credit screen, right? Which, by the way, for Spider-Man, don't stay for it. You don't need to. Don't stay for the
There's
whole
no
movie.
reason.
It's you can ask me and I'll tell you.
It's
Um,
probably on
Stop
YouTube.
it. Stay for it.
no, it's not worth it. If
Stay
if
for
you
it.
want to stay for it, fine, but you're not going to miss much.
People are gonna
Uh,
stay anyway.
yeah,
Do
but
not listen to Adam right now. Always stay. See the credits. Those people worked really hard. Stay
See
for
it
it.
for them.
And
Yeah,
Brian, who did our theme song, probably knows half of them because he's
I'm
always like,
sure
"I
that's
know them,
true.
I know them." But it's so yeah. In the post-credit scenes for the normal MCU, like you get that little crossover, little pop in. But
Right.
this is making it feel much more organic. Now that being said, there are some things I missed, like whatever happened. Venom was in the last movie. Where's the
Yeah.
symbiote?
Right.
It's got to
Yeah,
be somewhere around here.
Right.
How are we
we
gonna
know
How are we
it's
gonna bring that
there.
in? And then it makes it seem more normal when Spider-Man hops into an actual MCU movie because now we've been going back and forth and we know what he's up to and it's not a surprise that hey, I'm Spider-Man, here's my cameo. It's like no, you're part of a shared universe. So
Yeah.
I will admit I feel like I was confused though on the Punisher relationship a little bit because they kept referencing things and I don't know if I forgot, but I had no idea what they were talking about.
I think the Punisher's role in this movie was to be Wolverine a little bit, right?
I think so too, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I think that's fine because they are very similar in terms of the tone and the space they take up.
Yes.
Is this movie PG-13, Brooks?
Hmm.
Okay. Well, as we all know, you get one F-bomb in a
Yes.
PG-13. And one of the greatest moments in this movie is when you think you're about to get it from Frank and you don't. And I'll just leave it at that. I love the mashups. I love the fact that they're starting to bring in other things. They're telling a fairly big story around the small story, Adam, that you mentioned before.
Hmm.
And part of that big story is a newcomer to the franchise. And I'm not going to talk about who she plays because I want people to
Hmm.
experience that for themselves if they haven't. And I'm talking about Sadie Sink. We all know
Hmm.
her from Stranger Things. And she's got a lot of weight on her shoulders, like maybe the weight of the MCU on her shoulders with this role. And personally, I think she nails it. I think she shows up for it. I think emotionally, I think just from straight acting chops, she's ready. And I think she brings it off. What do you guys think?
Oh, I'm in. When we find out what's going on with her and everything surrounding like we'll just say the fog of war, I guess we could say, the surrounding her and kind of
Hmm.
keeping her hidden from everyone. It makes perfect sense and it's done extremely well. I will say though that my one of my two and a half quibbles with this movie.
Okay.
And one of them is that she does get an emotional moment that I didn't feel was completely earned. And I know you disagree with me on this, but for me, it felt manipulative in the sense that the last scene in Hamnet was, where it's going to get you to cry, it's going to get you to laugh, whatever the thing is. And I felt like it wasn't earned because there's obviously some immediate foreshadowing when you first meet her and talking about some things with her family, and then a moment happens towards the end, and you're like, yeah, I knew that was coming, but it just kind of feels out of place right now. Maybe you feel 100% different, but that one was one of my quibbles. Now, again, did it harm how much I liked the movie? Absolutely not, because this is a great movie, but it did bring it down a notch.
Brooks, if I may, Adam, how dare you? I can convince you about that last scene of Hamnet. Do you want me to do it real quick?
Sure, go for it.
All right, we're going to go off topic here for a second.
On a
It's Hamnet,
podcast?
so
Oh
who
I
no.
cares?
know. Chloe spends the entire movie building a visual language for which these two people have very distinct comfort zones. He's comfortable in tight spaces. That's why the stage, that's why
Yes.
backstage, that's why everything at the theater is his happy place. She's comfortable outside. She needs space. She needs trees. She needs the sky. All of the terrible things that happened to her in that film happen indoors. The last scene where they're at the theater, he's in the wings, in the tightest possible corner he could be. She's out in the open because the Globe Theater didn't have a roof on it
Correct.
over the audience area. They're both in their comfort spaces, seeing each other across this gulf, the gulf of their possible sun. And in that moment, they finally see one another.
No, I get that. That's not the reason why I felt it was emotionally manipulative. I just put the part when she reaches out, on stage as Hamlet's dying. That was the part that I was like, I'm bawling my eyes out.
Uh,
Don't get me wrong. Like that, it got me, but I was like, you guys are evil.
I
But no,
thought
I did understand what you're talking about.
I
Yes.
thought the work that Chloe put in to get us there made everything make sense. Okay,
Well,
soapbox,
and
I'm
it's actually
stepping
a
down
Chloe
from it.
movie we actually like.
It
So there we go.
is. It
Yes,
is.
she finally lives up to her reputation.
Exactly. All right. I digressed for a little bit there. Thank you. It's just because I needed to put Adam back on the right footing. So
Hmm.
thank you for hearing me out, Adam. You don't seem convinced. I might try again before we're done. But
I liked Hamnet a lot. It's in my top 10 from last year. Just you guys connect. And honestly, I wonder if I would have seen it with you two, that there was, I saw it at home. So I saw a screener link. So maybe it was the experience of being together in the theater that had it rubbed off more.
Brooks
But
and I were holding each other by the end. No
Which is
question.
funny because
Yeah.
we see so few movies together.
And we have
And then
very
we
different
saw
tastes. We have
that.
yes.
very different tastes. All right, Brooks, I didn't give you a chance to say what you thought of Sadie Sink. How are you on her performance?
I mean, I've been a huge fan of her all along. I love her in Stranger Things. She was great in her Fear Street installment,
Oh,
where
she was in that. That's right.
she's in the summer
Oh.
camp. And I love what she does in pretty much anything. So I guess the only thing she is fantastic. It was not a secret to me who she was going to be.
No, same.
Only
Same.
because it's been the number one rumor all along,
It
and
has.
so it was
Although
kind of
it,
like my
yeah.
one duh moment, but only because I also wanted her to be, so it was fine.
So it is funny because when I saw this, it was critics only. Then there were some people who won tickets to go, so it was a very much a smaller crowd than normal. And when they reveal who she is, like the whole audience gasped. I'm like, where have you been?
I know. I know.
Like,
Yes.
what is going on? And then they're also the ones who leave halfway through the credits. I'm like, but yeah, it's
I think Missy kind of gasped a little bit too, like it
she's
kind of
not as hard-boiled
surprised
in
her,
it as
but
we are.
exactly.
Yeah.
The only reason we're
So
not saying it out loud is because just we don't want the people that see us in the real world to get mad at us again because they've scolded us for spoiling in the past. So we're trying to be good. So please forgive us for all
Even
this
though you've all
going.
seen it.
I know.
especially when
I know.
it's over
I know.
$2 billion, it's like you try to think of who hasn't seen it. I mean, even Missy went to the screening. The only one in this house who hasn't is Sid, and so
Well, Sid needs
Do it
to
for
see
Sid.
when
Hide it
It's
when
for
she's
awesome.
Sid.
8, yeah, we have to take her.
Before we go to scores, I want to talk about one more aspect of this, which I wonder if you guys clocked. I think this is the more bloody and violent of the Spider-Man movies. There's a lot of fighting, and he gets pretty torn up, pretty
Mm,
bruised up. The fight with the hand in particular, I won't say when it happens or what, it signifies, first of all, outstanding fight choreography in that
Hmm.
scene,
oh
like
yeah.
top three of the last several years. But Peter takes some beatings in this movie and ends up pretty bruised. And I wonder if that's part of this transformation, this evolution, this change that he's going through.
I think it is. I mean, he's getting older. He's fighting bigger enemies. obviously he's going to take a bigger beating than ever as they progress, I think. Before he was kind of, I mean, in like the Avengers movies, he was part of a group.
Yeah.
And so he was helping with the fights. And so there wasn't as much one-on-one action. And even in the past ones, I guess in the last Spider-Man is the closest it's been. But even then, he was still working with the other Spider-Men.
The other
And so
Spider-Mans, yeah.
it's like he wasn't taking the brunt of everything.
It just felt like a little bit of a tonal shift. Like the stakes might start to increase for him.
Yeah, and we go back to talking about the comics a little bit ago. Was that's the thing in the comics is like he gets the crap kicked out of him all the time. He's always running around with broken ribs or stitches or something like that. I mean, that's how he gets involved with Night Nurse, who we kind of got to know from the Daredevil series.
Who got cut. She has scenes. She
Yeah,
got cut.
she did actually.
I
It was
know.
on.
She was very sad.
So that is also part and parcel with the comics. Going back to that everyman thing, is that okay, so Bruce Banner really can't get hurt. You got Tony Stark as Iron Man can't really get hurt, and if he is, his other superpower is the billions of dollars he has will bring him back. You
Yeah.
know, so it does take a much darker turn. And yeah, this the one of the stories this one was based on was in the original comics. He makes a deal with Mephisto where he and Mary Jane never get married. So it's lightly based on that story in the comics.
Mephisto.
Yeah, Mephisto. Yeah. So it is a darker story. Now that being said, that storyline was crap. That was garbage. Don't read it. So no, I think it does take it a lot of a darker turn for the character, but he's still the wisecracking Spider-Man. Like he's still cracking jokes and talking about yoga poses and everything else. So I think for him, that's almost a form of therapy. Is when he's beat up in life to put on the mask and go become Spider-Man, lets him be free because that's the part where he enjoys having powers. Like he's one of the few who actually doesn't look at it like a curse. Like he's excited about it. So for me, that's like the flip side of the coin is that he actually gets to go out there now and kind of be himself. Like maybe he's not really Peter Parker when he takes the mask off. He's always Spider-Man.
Adam, keep going. Why don't you start scores for us?
All right. So let me bring up my other 1.5 quibble is Tom Holland, pick an accent and stay with it, please. Like you kept flipping out on either one. And then the other quibble I had was, I'm sorry, I didn't know I was going to watch a Matrix movie. Because there's something that happens in here very much that is Neo. And I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. And I was like, where did that come from? That just made no plot sense.
Yeah.
So that being said, I'm at 3 out of 4 stars. I did have a lot of fun with it. I really enjoy it. I think I've already pre-ordered the Steelbook, which is what I always
We
do when
did.
I love something. Yeah, we did. I will say that this is one of the first Marvel movies in a long time. I think Thunderbolts was the last one where we didn't have a villain problem. The villain made sense and
Absolutely.
was sympathetic and wasn't just the hero in their mind, but probably the hero in my mind too. Again, some CGI problems, but in the long run, listen to everything we said. If you haven't seen it for some reason, go see it, especially if you can see it in IMAX or IMAX or whatever it is. But yeah, it's not my favorite Spider-Man movie, but it's up there in top 3. No Way Home is always going to be my number 1, but it's definitely top 3.
Brooks, where are you?
I'm definitely higher. I can't help it. I don't know what it is about these core Spider-Man characters and cast. It all solidified with No Way Home. And then now I feel like it's kind of bumped up a notch, actually, with him now trying to force meet cutes back into their lives and then having to deal with those repercussions. I mean, just because you know them, there's a moment where someone tells him, I don't know you. And it rips your heart out
It does.
because it's true, but this is the fourth movie all of us have gone through with him. And so we're standing exactly where he is. And then you've just got the rest of the cast. And I never had any quibbles really with the CGI myself, but I think it's because some of it that was a little janky goes by so fast that unless you're like really zoning in on it, there was some weird sound issues when it started in our theater, but that obviously isn't something I can hold against the film. And then just Holland. I mean, going back with him, making his wisecracks. This is Spider-Man. Like when it gets to the big fight scene with the hand, one of them does something, and you literally hear him go, "Oh, that's so cool." And it's like, this is exactly what he would do in the
Yeah.
comic book.
Yeah,
It's exactly
absolutely.
how it would happen. And it just, not a moment of this movie felt false to me. And so I'm going with full 4.
I'm with you, Brooks, at full 4. I don't think anything that Adam brought up, his 2.5 quibbles, was it 2.5, Adam?
2.5, yes.
2.5 quibbles. I don't think they're wrong. I can see your point on all of them. There was one moment, particularly for me at the end, that I thought, oh, come on. But it didn't actually ruin anything I had experienced. I think the fight choreography is great. I think the acting is great. I think the addition of Sadie Sink is brilliant. And I love how this movie fits into the larger story we're all excited about continuing. So the interiority of it, the transformational part of Peter Parker, meant a lot to me, and I thought it was pulled off really well. So 4 stars for me, Brooks.
4.
And Adam?
3.
Great. Well, we like this movie a lot. And because Peter is an orphan, we're going to talk about orphans and our guilty pleasures coming up next. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Big Movie Mouth Off. I'm Jeff Counts.
I'm Brooks Bird.
And I'm Adam McDonald.
Guilty Pleasures Orphans Edition. What do you got, Adam?
Okay, so I told you in our group chat, there's no way that you ever would have even seen this movie, most likely. It is based on a 1932 novel, and this is the British film from 1995, Cold Comfort Farm.
I have heard of it.
I have not.
Okay, so this is it's kind of very Charles Dickens-ish. It's one of Kate Beckinsale's first movies. So her parents die and she's orphaned and she's an aspiring writer. And so she reaches out to her family in the city and no one will take her in. So she reaches out to the family she has, the Country Bumpkins, who have a manor, Cold Comfort Farm. And it's all just the very strange, idiosyncratic people. Like you got the preacher who's hellfire and brimstone, whose wife wants to leave him and all this kind of stuff. And you have the matriarch, Aunt Ada Doom, who claims that she's seen something nasty in the woodshed, so she won't leave her room for anything. And she basically, the main character tries to like modernize them, bring them into the 20th century. It's funny, it's cute, it's charming. It's one my parents rented randomly when I was a kid, and I was like, what the crap is this? And I loved it more than they did. So, yeah, Cold Comfort Farm. It's just fun, and I can guarantee you, everyone listening, if any of you have heard of it, I will owe you $1.
Well, I told you I've heard of it. I think this is one that I was thinking about renting once because I went on this huge, like, British kick back in my early 20s, and I was trying to refine my comedic tastes, and that's how I found Ab Fab, by the way.
Well,
So,
I'm nowhere near getting $1 from you. I've never heard of this, but I'm definitely going to look it up. I'm glad you mentioned Country Bumpkins because my film is from 1977, and you guys are going to try to yellow card me, but I can explain. My film is Pete's Dragon. Now, I have used Pete's Dragon on a guilty pleasure before, but it was the remake. This is the original.
oh,
So I think I'm
fine. They are
saying
very different movies.
they're very different movies, and the whole point of this movie is that Pete is an orphan, and he's very much an orphan. Like the family that has him, that bought him, quote unquote, the matriarch is Shelley Winters. They look like a cross between Country Bear Jamboree and a bunch of Tarzans. Like they look
Yeah.
like very much like orphans. He is a quite a Dickensian little character, to use Adam's reference before he goes to the beautiful northeastern town where he makes friends with Helen Reddy and Mickey Rooney and all the other wonderful people there. And someone gets wind of his imaginary dragon friend and tries to capture him. It's Dr. Terminus. He wants to use him to make potions and other quackeries out of. So this is one of my formative movies as a kid. I was alive when this came out and aware enough to watch it and love it. And it made me, honestly, predisposed to love the one that came later.
This is the movie that was missing from the new movie.
Absolutely. But the new movie's good, Brooks. I used it as a guilty pleasure and I stand by it. So I love this movie. I don't think anyone really talks about it anymore. It's so dated. It's one of the first times they had animation, like full on hand-drawn animation with live actors. So it's, as an artifact of Hollywood ingenuity, I think it's worth seeing just for that. So I love it.
Oh, yeah.
Pete's Dragon, 1997. Sorry, 1977. Brooks, what was yours?
Well, mine couldn't be any more different than both of yours. I mean, what more would you expect from me than a movie where the orphan is because his parents were both killed on a roadside night, snowy night by Santa Claus? That's right. Got 1984's Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Fantastic.
Poor Billy. What's a boy to do other than grow up to become a punisher of the wicked?
Mm-hmm.
Pete
Got
had it
his
much better than
axe in
Billy.
his bag, and he's ready to slay.
What was the year of that again?
1984.
Why does it feel more recent? Has it been
Well,
redone?
they did the remake that
Oh,
came out
okay.
last year,
I
Okay.
think it was
which is
last, yeah.
funny. And it's funny because it also starts they're visiting his grandpa who's in a nursing home in Utah.
It won't surprise either one of you that I've seen neither of these. So, Brooks, which of them should I watch, the original or the remake?
Oh, the original.
Okay. You agree, Adam?
Although I like the remake, and although it gets kind of weird.
Well, the original's fun because I mean, it's
Oh,
pretty much
it's
tame
just
by today's standards now, but it was like the one that it was like banned from theaters. People were
yes.
protesting, all that kind of fun
Oh, I
stuff.
love that.
They had
I
to get
love
rid of
that.
all of the ads from like the newspapers and take down all the posters. And now most people have seen it and or own it if they like it. And I do.
Say what it was again, Brooks?
Silent Night, Deadly Night,
From
1984.
Mine was from 1977, the original Pete's Dragon and Adam.
1995's Cold Comfort Farm.
All right, coming attractions. I'll go first on this one. I just saw this trailer recently. A lot of trailers are coming out of D23 right now. There's a lot of really
Hmm.
great stuff.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I suspect maybe more than one of them will be on this coming attractions. But the thing I'm thrilled about is the return of Ahsoka in season 2. I loved that show, that Disney Plus Star Wars show. Speaking of Rosario Dawson, her
Yep.
night nurse scenes got cut, but she's not getting cut as Ahsoka because she is very much a part of things. It'll be interesting to see how the switch from Ray Stevenson, who sadly passed, to Rory McCann, who I think was the Hound in Game of Thrones. I'm pretty sure he was. I'll be interested to see how that handoff is. This movie has a lot of Anakin in it, a lot of Hayden
Hmm.
Christensen, which
It's
I
a
know will
TV
turn
show.
people off. It's a TV show. Yeah, I did say movie. Thank you. This multi-part television movie will have a lot of Hayden Christensen, a lot of Anakin, which I think will turn people
Oh,
off.
wow.
But it's also got a lot of Rebels. So if you loved the Rebels animated
Hmm.
series, you're going to
Hmm.
enjoy seeing more of their live action counterparts in this. I'm super excited for Ahsoka. Adam, what about you?
So I got like four of them because I couldn't figure out to do so. I got one, but I'm going to mention one really quickly. Wildwood. It is the new animated movie by Laika. Comes out later this
Oh,
year.
yes.
And the reason why I mention it is because to show that we're good at our jobs, I was thinking about this movie and Jake Johnson has a part in it. And we were
Ah,
just talking about Jake Johnson.
now
Um,
Leica was Kubo in the Two
Kubo.
Strings.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I
yeah.
know Brooks is wrong when he doesn't like it, but
Oh, worst
but
ninja movie ever.
Oh,
but
Brooks.
the one I have to bring up because I saw the thing from D23 and that's Vision Quest. So
Oh,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
looks mind-blowing.
it does.
So WandaVision and Agatha are my favorite
Oh,
Disney Plus
they're so
things,
good.
first and second respectively. And I love the
Yes.
fact that they are completing the trilogy with Vision's part of the story now. And the best part of it is James Spader showing up as like crazy human version of Ultron. I watched
As
that and
in Daddy.
I was like, I got to show Clark some clips from the Blacklist because he just reminded me of Red just sitting there going off on his stories. But couldn't be more excited for this. So I will be there day one to start watching that.
Nice. What's your coming attraction, Brooks?
So this is kind of interesting, but I know people aren't usually huge fans of the VHS franchise. And it's definitely very hit and miss, but they've gotten into a good stride since Shudder took over the reins.
Yeah.
And this October, they're doing one. The new one is called VHS Mixtape, and it's going to be music based.
Mm-hmm.
And
Awesome.
I don't really know anything about it aside from I know Riz is involved. Ernest Dickerson is directing one of the segments. It's all based around music, so I don't know if it means that one of these could be a musical. I don't know how they'd pull that off considering it's supposed to be VHS footage, but I'm very excited and it comes out October 9th.
Brooks, am I right to say that if you've got a horror product and Shudder takes interest in it, you should listen?
Basically, they've kind of taken over a couple of things. They've wound up pretty
Yeah.
good. Shudder, and yeah, they know what they're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm looking forward to Ahsoka season 2. Adam,
Wildwood, and more importantly, Vision Quest.
Brooks.
VHS mixtape.
All right, we'll do a couple post-credit scenes, but before we do that, Adam, will you once again talk up the website a little bit because I want to make up for the lost time on that.
Yeah, so it's easy. It's just bigmoviemouthoff.com. And again, you can find easy access to all of our episodes. There's an archive. You can search by movie. So if something we did, and like, was it 2 years ago or 3 years ago? It'll find it for you. Embedded in each post is a Spotify link, so you can actually access it right then and there. And you can also find written reviews. So a little smorgasbord of everything.
Thank you
So
again for doing that. And we just
Yes.
had a recent pretty big spike in listenership, and I want to keep that going. So if you're one of our true blues, please tell a couple people about us and use the website as a way to invite them
yes.
in. It's a great way to get people familiar with us and the work we do. 54 episodes in, we're building. It's great. I'm having such a great time doing this with you guys. Post-credit scenes, I've just got two. I'm going to be quick about it. Adam, it's like you predicted it. It's like you got into my head because as soon as I
Mm-hmm.
said how much I was enjoying Great Circle, I kind of fell off of it.
Mm.
Part of it was timing because Black Flag Resynced came out, and I
Yes.
am so happy to be in that world again. I'm having a blast. I'm also really excited that I just watched the entirety of the Tom Hanks World War II series on Prime.
Oh, a Band of Brothers?
No, it's a documentary series, 20 episodes long that
Oh.
he did where
Holy
he
cow.
where he interviews historians and uses archival footage.
Oh.
He's just the narrator
Really?
of it, Brooks, and it's
Oh.
incredible. I know I'm an old guy and old guys love World War II stuff. That's what we're known
And
for. But
documentaries.
exactly. But the quality of this, the information, it's really good. I've read a lot about that conflict and I feel like I know a lot. I learned something every single one of those 20 episodes. So yeah, my post-credit scenes, World War II Tom Hanks and Black Flag Resynced, Assassin's Creed. It's so good to be back. What do you got, Brooks?
I was kind of coming up blank, and then I don't know, for some reason it just hit me, and I was like, well, duh. We've been like we started watching Zillow Gone Wild with Jack McBrayer, who hosts it, and it's pretty good. But that also Sid stumbled upon Retta from Parks and Rec, of course,
Love me
Mm.
some Retta.
has her own HGTV show.
No.
Well, she has two. There's Ugliest House in America, where every episode she does three or four ugly houses, and then the season builds up and they get like $150,000 makeover. And then even better, which is funny because this is the one that Sid I think likes more, is Scariest House in America,
Hmm.
where she goes around the country doing the same thing, but with like houses that people think are haunted. Same thing. It all works towards the end to get a big makeover, which doesn't work as well, I think. I think they need to come up with a different ending for Scariest Houses because like there was this really cool house that was super haunted and they turned it into this like luxury getaway thing and I was like, well, now I don't like this house anymore.
I've always thought that there should be a Retta and Aziz Ansari show where they just go around doing treat yourself.
Just taking people out for like a big day.
It's a great idea.
Oh,
Someone
that
steal it.
is.
Make that show, please. All right. Any post-credit scenes from you?
So it's actually just called World War II with Tom Hanks.
That's
So
it.
it made me think of
Huh.
his trailer where this guy wasn't convinced his girlfriend was real or not, and kept on doing these little jokes. And finally, he's like, "Well, how about we sit down right now and watch a 20-part World War II documentary?" And she's like, "Oh, I can't wait. Thank you." And it just made me think of Barbie and like with the typical guys, with their
Yep.
Barbies.
I'm living half of that.
Yeah. So for those out of the loop, work was crazy. I worked 30 days straight, 80 hours a week. So last week I was on PTO and I kind of caught up on a bunch of stuff I've been trying to see. So I'll go quick, but I've got five actually.
Do it.
So Monday we used a screener for The End of Oak Street, which if you've not
Oh,
seen it,
yes.
Anne Hathaway, Ewan McGregor, it is the sequel to Jurassic Park we've been waiting 30 years for. It made no money, so it's again August
Yeah.
doldrums. It's gonna die. So it'll probably be on streaming in 2 weeks, but check it out. It's really, really good. For awards contender, we had A24's Tony, which is the biopic about Anthony Bourdain, starring Dominic Sessa as Anthony Bourdain. So Dominic Sessa, we love from The Holdovers.
Yep.
So he's going to hopefully get his flowers for that. It's based off one summer of his life in Provincetown, a short chapter from his book, but I can't say enough good things about it. Like it's literally quite honestly a perfect movie. Friday we went and saw the 10th anniversary re-release in theaters of Your Name, which is one of the best animes I've ever seen in my life. So check that one out.
Unbelievable.
Oh yeah, and it didn't get any love because when I remember the year it came out, I had a screener for it, and it was the last thing I watched before I submitted my ballot for nominations. And none of us had talked about it. I put it up for everything, but obviously by then it was too late.
It's a masterpiece.
Last night, after falling down a YouTube rabbit hole for a bit, I realized Clark had never seen Constantine from
What?
2005. Keanu Reeves back when he was still kind of in his Neo phase. So we started watching it, and we watched half of it. It still holds up. It's still silly as all get out, but
I
Clark
love
actually
it.
liked it. Yeah, and Clark doesn't like anything. And then the one that I saw today that I'm still figuring out is Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Miasma, which is by Jane Schoenbrunn. They're the one who did I Saw the TV Glow. So they're known for kind of doing some more avant-garde stuff. And this is a love letter to all things Friday the 13th and 80s, 70s slasher films.
Everyone keeps telling me to watch it.
Oh, you have a screener link. Go get one. But it was excellent. There's a lot of like David Lynch thrown in there, especially towards the end. Gillian Anderson comes back. They let her be a woman in her 50s or 60s being sexy and sexual and things you wouldn't expect to find with older women in this day and age when we film movies. So she gives a really good performance. You just got to see it to understand it. It was one that I heard good things about, and I left confused about some things, but I need to go. I want to see it again because the ending's kind of a slap in the face. So
I've seen a lot of poster art for this one. A lot of blood-soaked dresses.
Yeah.
yes, the bad guy is known as the Little Death, and it's actually important if you know what that actually stands for in French in the movie. So.
Okay.
Funny.
Okay.
I
Well,
love that. Oh, wow.
this has to be the most content-rich episode we've ever
Yes.
done. We have mentioned numerous things for you to think about. Do your homework, get through all of it before we record again. That'll be in a couple weeks when we come back and talk about more movies, more guilty pleasures, more of all the stuff you love. Again, bigmoviemounthoff.com. Go visit it today. Until next time on the show, I'm Jeff Counts.
I'm Brooks Bird.
And I'm Adam McDonald.
Thank you for being with us. Big Movie Mouth Off was produced and edited by me, Jeff Counts, and co-hosted by Adam McDonald and Brooks Bird. Our theme music is written by Brian Z. Richards, and this show is dedicated to the memory of our founders, Jeff Michael Weiss, and my partner in crime for over 5 years, the incomparable Jimmy Martin.